Tonight, it's back to football. Only on...
There is nothing that we know of that breaks the circle of poverty better than employment.
A Columbia organization wanting to help unemployed workers.
Ohio police talk about the capture of jail escapee Brian Atkinson.
And construction delays have homeowners calling the Better Business Bureau. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
We're learning more tonight about the Missouri man captured in Ohio last night. Brian Atkinson is behind bars after escaping from the Caldwell County Jail last month. We know his arrest was not an easy one. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jem Reed.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Police in Ohio arrested him yesterday after someone recognized him. KOMU 8's Melissa Helm spoke with the police department about the arrest. Melissa?
Police captured Atkinson in Westlake, Ohio yesterday afternoon. Westlake is near Cleveland also. Authorities took Atkinson into custody at a nursing home after getting multiple tips on his whereabouts. Captain Turner tells me Atkinson was uncooperative with officers when he arrived at the jail.
He was kind of difficult at first. He wasn't going to submit to fingerprinting or photographing. He wasn't going to play nice in the sandbox, but eventually one of our detectives schmoozed him pretty good and got him to cooperate.
Administrators set up this Facebook page last week to spread the word about Atkinson. Through donations, they raised $3,200 for the person who tipped him off to police. I spoke with the page's administrator who says the money will be donated to Green Hills Women's Shelter. The shelter is the chosen charity of Atkinson's ex-girlfriend and accused victim, Lauren Crawford, and has locations throughout Missouri.
Several Mid-Missourians want their money back. They say a Columbia construction company failed to finish projects. Today, the Better Business Bureau warned consumers to be careful when working with Schweitzer Construction. KOMU 8's Nicole Cartmel joins us to tell us how to avoid getting into this situation.
Schweitzer Construction has 3 goals. On the company's website, it says it wants to maintain affordable pricing, consumer satisfaction, and lifelong relationships. But the Better Business Bureau says Schweitzer isn't meeting those standards. At least 5 people have each paid more than $3,000 for simple house repairs, but those have yet to be finished. The business is run out of this home, but I couldn't reach the owner of the company, Corey Smith. But a friend and part-time employee of Schweitzer says Smith is just low on manpower, but he's always finished projects he's started. Still, the Bureau advises caution when dealing with the company. To avoid these situations, the Bureau says consumers shouldn't pay in full up front.
You want to put a third down at the beginning of the project. Then as you get about halfway through the project, you put another third down. And then at the end of the project, you finish with the last third. Only, though, if that consumer is happy with the job that they did.
For a full list of tips to consider when hiring a home repair contractor, visit our website at KOMU.com.
A garage fire this afternoon left 3 Columbia residents with more than $50,000 worth of damage. Firefighters on the scene say they saw heavy smoke and flames coming from the garage of a single-story home on Eagle View Court. The Columbia Fire Department got the fire under control within 15 minutes of getting there. 3 adults who lived at the home got out without any injuries, but the fire did destroy a vehicle and a boat. At this time, the Columbia Fire Department is still investigating the cause of the fire. The homeowner thinks a faulty lawnmower caused it.
Cole County Sheriff Greg White is concerned about Missouri's controversial gun bill. The bill says all federal laws that limit the right to bear arms would be invalid and the state would not recognize those laws. White says if lawmakers override the governor's veto, state law enforcement would not assist federal agencies. He says that could cause a problem when it comes to issues like drug busts.
If we made a case that we would normally refer to the feds, a significant drug bust, where it could climb to other states or to other nations, and there was a single-shot .22 rifle involved, we couldn't refer it because of the gun issue, and the state can prohibit us from doing that.
Missouri's veto session begins next Wednesday.
Columbia's car sales are up by more than 50%, according to the recent Federal Reserve report. Nationwide car sales are up by 17%. Local car dealerships say they've noticed a hike in sales over the last year. There's even been a shortage in some of the more popular cars like Ford F-150 and the Toyota RAV4. A reason for the increased sales is an improving economy that's building up consumer confidence.
That same Federal Reserve report showed Mid-Missouri home sales are also rising. The Columbia Board of Realtors released its monthly report showing a spike in home sales. 46% more homes were sold this July as compared to last year.
It's actually the highest number of sales, I think, in over 6 years for a 1 month period.
Preliminary numbers for August show a slight decrease in sales. Those numbers will be available September 16th.
It seems like an obvious solution. Find a job, get out of poverty, but that's not always a foolproof plan.
First, you have to find a job, then you have to find a job that pays enough that you can survive. In tonight's Poverty in Plain Sight, KOMU8's Emily Spain takes a look how Mid-Missourians are struggling to find jobs.
Columbia has a lot of stable employers. The university, the hospitals, 2 big insurance companies, just to name a few. Our unemployment rate is 5.5%. That's lower than both the state and the nation's rate. So it seems like getting a job here would be easy. But for that 5.5%, the search for a salary is almost a job in itself.
Well, just scroll up just a hair.
In a small computer lab off of Vandiver in Columbia, Cheryl Wade Coleman is on the hunt for hope.
Oh, I need work because I have bills. And when my kidney failed, those bills didn't stop.
Wade Coleman's getting help to rejoin the workforce after her health had other plans.
I lost my husband, I lost my brother, both who had failed kidneys. And then I found out that my kidney had failed.
Her kidney failed in 2003. 3 years later, she got a kidney transplant. That surgery forced her to leave her job with the state.
I'm 67 years old. My daughters have often said, Mother, isn't it time for you to retire? You know, and I'm saying yes, but the bills are still coming. No one's helping me.
Now growing medical bills on top of life's basic needs are forcing her to go back to work.
Money that I'm getting from Social Security is just not enough.
Her age has her struggling to keep up with the ever-changing technology and young competition. She says she's been actively looking for jobs for 3 years with no luck.
I just keep going, just keep pushing.
She came to Job Point in Columbia to improve her chances of getting a job. She's looking for customer service and data entry positions, similar to jobs she's had in the past. Wade Coleman doesn't have a college degree to display, but she's got the personality.
It's easy to introduce her to an employer if we're, trying to network her with an opportunity because she's incredibly charming.
She's one of many seeking the services of Job Point. The organization helps the disadvantaged and disabled improve their skills and find work.
How did you do that again?
Wade Coleman took office and technology classes here.
There is nothing that we know of that breaks the circle of poverty better than employment. And if we can train people to be productive and contributing citizens, then we'll go a long way toward breaking that cycle of poverty.
Every year, Job Point serves between 750 and 1,000 job seekers. The majority are under the age of 35.
And then
Wade Coleman wonders if it's her age that's turning employers away.
I'm from the older generation, and I think a little different than they do, and it makes you want to give it up.
But she says she won't stop trying. Her bills won't let her, and neither will her faith.
God, let's put it that way. I trust in him. I figured that eventually something will come. All right.
I'll call you, okay?
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Emily Spain, KOMU8 News, Columbia.
A Job Point employee told us there were more than 50 applicants for one opening. That opening was for a morning custodian.
2 people are dead after a car drove off a Pettis County road last night. 22-year-old Bonnie Osborne and 24-year-old Christian Osborne of Windsor, Missouri, were both passengers in the car or in the vehicle when it crashed. The driver, 33-year-old Eric Evans, was sent to University Hospital with serious injuries. The State Highway Patrol says the car was traveling at a high speed on Main Street when it drove off the road and hit a utility pole. Then the car rolled over several times before hitting another utility pole.
Kansas City police say a homeless man was sleeping in a recycling bin this morning when a garbage truck pulled up alongside. The man will survive with 2 broken legs. The driver told police he heard screaming at his next stop and found the man in the back of his truck. The homeless man says he heard the truck pulling up but wasn't able to jump out in time.
It's after Labor Day, but we're still staying above that 90-degree mark. Rosie Newberry's here with a preview of your weekend forecast. Hey, Rosie.
Hey, Brittany. Unfortunately, we are just going to be tiptoeing right above that 90-degree mark for the next few days here in mid-Missouri. And some bad news on top of that, I hate giving this sort of stuff, is that the humidity is going to be climbing just a little bit as well. Most of our temperatures right now across mid-Missouri are into the middle 80s. We finally dropped below the 90-degree mark even at our warmest spot, which, believe it or not, was Macon, up in Macon County. We are going to be dealing with some variable cloud cover over the next 12 hours, but planning on a lot of sunshine this weekend. That's going to include MU's next home game against Toledo. We'll talk about not only what we're expecting for temperatures, but our next hopeful chance of rain and when that will be coming into the forecast. All of those details will be coming up in just a little bit.
What's this eating my plant?
Coming up, a new pest making its way through mid-Missouri farms.
Track storms wherever you are on your phone or tablet.